Good morning. We are here this morning with Kathy. Well, it's morning for us. Whenever you're listening, good day, right? I'm here with Kathy Baldwin, author of How to Unlearn the Crap. And she also has a TV show called How to Unlearn the Crap. And so she asked to come in for an intuitive reading. Kathy, do you have a burning question? Is there something you really want to know the answer to?
What do I need to focus on next?
Okay. I really sense that they're saying that you have done an extremely good job of like reaching out. You've done a really good job in reaching. Actually, it's more of a reaching in, being being willing to like be vulnerable and authentic and then share that out, right? It's an in and out move, sort of like a wave, like right you came in and then you went out. Um I'm hearing the word marketing at the moment. So I feel like they're saying that not enough people know you yet, right? And not enough people have heard the amazing message you have to give. And so the question then becomes they're saying you built the platforms, you have the book, you've built the platforms, it's like if you build it, they will come, right? You're like, I've built it. Where is the people? Where are the people, right? And so I feel like now it's more of a being brave and putting yourself out there even more of the like bold asking. And so because there is a book, right? So there's part of me like there is a book. So why not step out to like bookstores and say, "Will you host me?" And then if only 3 people show up, that's 3 people who like hadn't read your book before, right? And I think we see a 3 people as and this is coming from personal experience with a book reading, right? Where only 3 people showed up. And I never did it again. I never did it again. And I think we see that as failure because we expect like a big thing, right? We expect this big thing and then nobody shows and then right? And then it feels kind of meh. And then you feel like, well, why am I but the celebration of 3 people, the celebration of I put myself out there and my book is now in the bookstore because I brought it in when I came in. Um, and I'm being told to tell you a story I'm being told myself. So please know that like this is like something I'm being reminded of. I don't know if you know the story of Stephen King. Um, So Stephen King started out as an English teacher, which I always find so fascinating because I started out as an English teacher. So Stephen King started out as an English teacher and he wrote his first book, and during his summer vacation, he loaded his car with boxes of books, and he drove across the nation and met up in bookstores and just met people where they were, and he did signings all across the nation, and all the way out of Maine and down and around and up and back to Maine, and then he continued his teaching career. But that is how people found him, because he was willing to be boldly out there and just like, who shows, and if nobody shows, nobody shows, and if 4 people are there, that's 4 more people who have my book, right? And so I think it's the bold ask of boldly asking, and then also like if there is finances for some marketing. But I feel like getting out there more with your vision, um, being bold on social media if you're not currently bold on social media, right? I feel like if there's, because we all have, right, how to unpack the crap. Part of the crap is I started as very uncomfortable on social media, and it's only been in the last 6 months that I have allowed those doors to fly open for me. And so um, being bold in getting it out there and getting your voice out there and being seen consistently on social media is a big deal. And I don't like the idea of my platform being built on social media. It feels too unsteady to me. But at the same point, that is where people are right now. And until there's a shift, and I think there is a shift coming with social media, I feel like there will be something else that's out there that's, I don't want to say better, but I feel like there's an alternative that's coming that we haven't seen yet, that will be much more comfortable and exciting than social media. I don't know what that looks like, but I feel like there's a shift happening because a lot of people are disenfranchised with that platform. But there's a lot that's good about it, and I feel like there's a shift anyway. So as you're moving into this, realize the stuff that hinders you is the stuff that's hindering you. And the stuff that's your resistance is the stuff that's blocking you from stepping into boldness. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, I also see I see bravery in you, right? I see sort of the warrior in you. The I'm willing to fight for what is bold and important and mine. And not just mama bear, but actually girded bear, right? Like you're wearing the armor. I really do see you as a force and powerful and strength. I see a lot of strength in you. And so the being afraid thing is like, tell me a warrior doesn't want to poop their pants before they go off to battle, and I'll be like, they're full of crap. Right. And I used to, when I was teaching, I had this sign on my wall that said that bravery, the definition of courage is being scared and going forward anyway. And so I believe wholeheartedly in doing it scared. Because if I don't do it scared, I'm never freaking gonna do it. And so I would challenge you, the next right action, right? The next right action is what scares me the most right now. And then how do I make peace with the fear and still step out and do the thing? And who cares if they show up or not? Because you did the thing. You did the thing that scares you, and that is what success is, right? People look at their social media numbers and they're like, that is success. Or they look at their like book sales and they're like, that is success. And I say that's bullshit. What success is what scared the crap out of you, and then did you do it? That's success.
Oh, wow.
I did not mean to make you tear up this morning.
I did not think I would.
So, yeah, that's where I am. What is the thing that scares you? And then how do you step out into it? And then they're so easy to get in your head about what it matter, what does this matter, and what does this mean, and what is the definition that this has, and what does this say about me? And instead of putting those definitions on who's following me, who's around me, what are my numbers, blah blah blah, putting the definition on, did I do it? Did I let fear stop me? And once you shift that, the numbers will drop off, the resistance to numbers will drop off, and people will find you.
Wow. You hit so deep. Is there anything else I need to know?
You are okay. I'm hearing. Tell her you're doing a fantastic job. There, I think the measuring stick. You're measuring your job, your worth, how much you're accomplishing, blah blah blah, is like, you know, in Mary Poppins when she pulls, and I'm thinking the old version with Julie Andrews. Like, it's been a really long time. I haven't seen the Emily Blunt version, right? So I don't know what happens in that one. But in the old version with Mary Poppins, she pulls out a measuring stick, right? She pulls out a measuring tape on the kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you pull out your measuring tape, it was given to you by an evil stepmother. And so when you pull out the measuring tape to measure yourself for your height and your nose and all of the things, right? It's like not even the meanest person would say the stuff that you say to yourself sometimes, right? And then you wind up believing those really mean statements. And you work really hard to fight the mean statements, but they're still sort of in there sometimes. And so when you're measuring how well you're doing or not doing, right, I feel like your measuring stick is mean to you. Instead of saying, hey, you know what? The bar was here and you went a little bit higher. You were like, the bar was here, but I could have done more. And so instead of like, applauding what actually gets done, you are always picking on what didn't get done. And I feel like I think they just want you to know you're doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job, and your heart and your passion and your love shine through. Just, you need to go get Mary Poppins's measuring tape, right? Go get Mary Poppins's measuring tape. And I don't know if you know, my logo is a boot, like Victorian boots. And it's like, because I'm a little bit magical and a little bit practical, like Mary Poppins, right? And so go
Yep.
find her happy measuring tape and be like, what is a measuring tape that makes me feel good? You know what? I got 6 things done today, and then I had to go take a nap. Well, congratulations, I got 6 things done today, right? Or, there was an explosion in the house, kids, whatever, I'm not sure, I don't know if there's kids, but like, whatever happens in your house to make explosions, right? Whatever happens to make an explosion in family, right? I feel like there are family explosions that are happening around you that are like pulling your attention. And if that's the case, you have to go deal with, and I think it's an ailing parent. If you have to go deal with an ailing parent, right? You go deal with the ailing parent. And if something gets pushed aside, you were there for your parent. Like, don't negate the good stuff you're doing, even if it's not as you see it, adding to your business. Because the good stuff you're doing is a part of your business, because you are your business. And so it's all fodder, right? It all gets used. Everything gets used. Nothing is wasted. And so if you feel like, well, gosh, I just spent a week like dealing with this other issue and not working on my business, that's a fail. No, that's a win, because you got to be someplace that other people would have to be at a 9 to 5 for. And so you have opportunities that don't negate those. Don't negate those amazing opportunities. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still unlearning my crap.
We are all unlearning our crap, right? That is part of the whole thing. Like, I'm never, thank goodness, I am never going to be done, right? I put myself in the oven of learning, right? And let me tell you, sometimes it's a pressure cooker. I'm I might come out for a little while and rest. I might get served up, and then some other part of me gets thrown in the oven, right? Like, we all spend time cooking, and we all spend time learning, and the moment you stop learning is when you die, right? Like, that's when you stop learning. And the moment your brain shuts up is also when you die. So if you're like not a meditator or a meditator, right? But people are like, I can't meditate because my brain never stops moving. Well, if you're alive, your brain is moving. And right, that's what happens. And so you're always going to be learning, and you're always going to be processing, and you're always going to be thinking. And I don't want to say you're always going to have to stop the negative thoughts, but you will probably always have to have a filter up and a guard against negative thoughts. Right? Because all of us have them. I find myself sometimes saying very mean things to myself, which are things I thought I got over, but I still sometimes say them, and I'm like, I don't know why I just said that. Oh, because my filter's down.
It's a beautiful way of phrasing that.
Yeah, so you're always going to be learning. So please, please don't stop, right? Because the moment you stop, it's like the moment you give up.
Yeah.
Any other ways I can encourage you this morning?
I don't know. I don't know. Like you've hit me pretty strong today. Like you were like an arrow.
Mm.
So I'm gonna ask just is there anything else that you think I need to know? Because the big bold ask is hard for me.
Yeah,
I'm really, really good at promoting other things and other people. But when I say I have something really important to share, it's hard.
yeah. And part of that comes from rejection.
Yeah.
and fear of rejection and the fear of people saying no. And then you're like, what does that say about me? And the definitions you create from that. And we've all been rejected, right? We've all been hurt. We've all been disappointed. We've all been let down. And that's one of the reasons people don't step out into their dream, is because it's the fear of rejection and the fear of failure and the fear of actually trying and then not succeeding. How great is it to not try and not succeed? Right? There's a win there in a way, because if I really tried and I failed, then that's saying something, but I didn't really try, so who cares, right? I would see that in my students all the time. And so maybe, and I know as a manifester, right, this goes against the manifestation rules, right? Manifestation rules say you put it out there, you believe in it, you don't take it back, you like let it float in the ether, you plan for the bigness, you imagine what it would feel like to have it, you swim around in it, right? You don't plan for the negative. But as a social worker, there's a part of me that says, no, you plan for the negative. You dream, you make the big plan, you put yourself out there, you imagine what it's going to feel like to have it. You do all the work that you do when you're manifesting. You like release and you allow as much as possible because you're human and that's really hard practice. And then you do all the things. But as a social worker, I would say, and then you're like, okay, what if I put myself out there and they say no? What's my immediate plan? Like, probably eating ice cream is a bad idea as a like wallowing tactic, so maybe we don't want to do that. But like, how do we celebrate the win even if it doesn't look the way I want on the end? Like, how do I celebrate my win of trying? And so like, what does that celebration look like? Does that celebration mean I give myself a spa day? Does that celebration mean I give myself a big giant walk in the woods? Does that celebration mean I do the thing I've been putting off that I really, really want to do just because I tried, even if I didn't get the response I wanted? You celebrate the win. And yeah, just realize rejection sucks. And realize we all get it, right? Again, going back to Stephen King, do you know how many rejection letters he got before his first book was published? He put a nail on his wall. And every rejection letter he got, he shoved on that nail. And he said he filled it up. So it happens to everybody. And if you're never going to get a yes if you refuse to ask. It was something my grandfather used to say. If you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't ask, it's always a no. So if you're willing to do it for other people, you're worth doing it for as well. And if you're willing to do it for other people, you're worth fighting for as well.
Okay.
Okay. Kathy, anything you want to tell people about how to find you?
Um, I can be found at kathybaldwin.me. And under that website is my coaching programs, all about Unlearn the Crap, my book. I'm writing my book right now about my personal journey of how I'm unlearning the crap. And the word rejection, I just finished doing a talk about rejection, writing an article about rejection. So you're amazing that you picked up on that word. That's still the crap that I'm still unlearning at this age. So yes, we all have crap, and I am going to do a big bold ask here and say I've learned a lot during my journey,
Mm-hmm.
and if I resonate, I can help, just like you did for me.
Exactly.
Oh. I was not I was not prepared for this.
You are doing such a fantastic job.
No, I wasn't prepared for how emotional this would be.
Right. But let me ask for people who are listening, just can I unpack that emotion a little bit with you? And can I just
Please,
ask
because I have the feeling that I'm not the only one who's dealing with this,
with,
stepping in.
yeah. So the emotion right now, what is it? Is it a negative emotion or a positive emotion?
Oh, it's a raw. It's still one of my core wounds
Oh,
that I thought I had. I thought I had
you thought
done a lot of healing around there,
you have.
and I
Wait, you have. Don't negate the work you've done. Right? This is that measuring tape again.
I thought I had done more, that I was not going to be this emotional when, and I wasn't expecting to have you hit a core wound that, but yes.
Yeah. So when you come to an intuitive and they're like, we need to encourage you, right? And we want you to feel seen and loved and heard and um when we come to an intuitive, right? Just one. Um so when you come to an intuitive and you're seen and loved and heard and experienced, it can like bubble up deep emotion, right? Because we're trying, my goal is to make everybody feel seen and encouraged, right? So that you're able to launch yourself into what it is that is holding get through what it is that's holding you back, right? So does this emotion feel inspiring or does it feel debilitating to you?
Oh, it feels inspiring.
Right. And so this emotion is like, I'm seen, I'm understood, I'm loved, I'm supported, I'm known, and it's okay.
And I'm still safe.
And you're still safe. Exactly. Exactly. And breathing. I'm all about the breathing.
Yes, yes, I saw that about you. And that is part of the crap that we have to unlearn is
Yeah,
we've been taught a lot of disempowerment that's built right into our DNA, and it's in our belief systems, and it's in our wiring. And
exactly. Are you, where in the nation are you?
I'm in Canada, just
You're, oh,
outside of Toronto.
you're in Canada.
Yeah. Why? Where are you?
Oh, I'm outside of Philadelphia. I'm from the United
Oh,
States.
okay.
But
So
I
I'm just northwest.
Northwest. So here's a statement that I don't know if it applies to Canadians. I know it applies to Americans, especially on the East Coast. But I would also say people on the West Coast have this because there's like the whole movement across the country to get to the West Coast. But here on the East Coast, I think there's definitely a spirit of strength and unwillingness to ask for help, right? It's a hold your core straight. And we have so many sayings that are like, hoe your own row, never let them see you sweat, right? And there's a whole bunch of like, be strong kind of statements, like, just do it. And like, it's all about you doing the thing. And it all comes from landing and then having to make your own way and not being able to ask the farmer on the next way to really help you once things get rough because they have it rough too. And so everybody's just like, I'm doing my own thing because, and then you wind up holding your core really tight and then you forget how to breathe. And so you're only chest breathing and not belly breathing. And so when you get super, super scared and overwhelmed and you're afraid to give the ask, drop your breath down deep, deep down into your lower belly. And it changes everything. It teaches your body that your fear, fight, flight is, it cuts off that reaction. Lower belly breathing does amazing things. And if you really want to get bold on it, lie down and put a 10-pound bag of rice on your belly when you do it. And that really tells your brain you can chill out. When you lower belly breathe, it like puts oxygen into all of your extremities, which fear, fight, flight takes all the oxygen away from your extremities, right? So it breaks those patterns.
Yes, that's part of what I talk about in Unlearn the Crap is our central nervous system and how we don't know how to control it. So thank you for helping anyone who's listening to this know that yeah, we have the power.
You do. You do have the power to break an anxiety attack. It's a beautiful thing to watch when it happens because I have an anxiety disorder at times. Like right now, it's not so bad, um, and I'm doing big scary things, and my anxiety seems to be okay. But like if I find myself in the starts of a panic attack, I just drop my belly breathing. I just drop right in and just start paying attention to where my breath is. Well, Kathy, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed to hear this. Um, and I have the feeling that I'm not alone, that
Mm-mm.
we all, I'm in a stage of my life where I believe in a 4X win, is what I call it, which is a win for me, a win for you, a win for our collaborators, our clients, and a win for the collective good.
Yes.
And I believe what you've just done with your podcast today and this reading you had with me hits that 4X win.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. All right. I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon. You're welcome.
Thank you.